Mandodarya samam tatra prarudantya upadravan. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Vicharanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation. Thereafter, all the women whose husbands had fallen in the battle, headed by Mandodari, the wife of Ravana, came out of Lanka. Continuously crying, they approached the dead bodies of Ravana and the other Rakshasas. Text 25. Swan swan bandhun parishvajya lakshmaneshu bir arditan rurudu suswaram dhina gnantya atmanam atmana. Translation. Striking their breasts in affliction because their husbands had been killed by the arrows of Lakshmana, the women embraced their respective husbands and cried piteously in voices appealing to everyone. Text 26. Ha hataha sma vayam natha ha hata sma vayam natha Lokaravana Ravana Lokaravana Ravana Kam Yayat Sharanam Lanka Kam Yayat Sharanam Lanka Tvat Vihina Para Ardita Tadvihina parardita ahatasma vayam natha lokaravana ravana kam yayacharam lanka kam yayacharanam lanka tadvihina parardita Ahatasma vayam natha Lokaravana ravana Kamyaya charanam lanka Vadvihina parardita. Ha, alas, hataha, killed, sma, in the past, vayam, all of us, natha, O protector, loka ravana, O husband, who created the crying of so many other people. Ravana, O Ravana, one who can cause crying of others, come onto whom Yayat will go, Sharanam, sheltered, Lanka, the state of Lanka, Tvat Vihina, being bereft of your good self, Para Ardita, being defeated by the enemies. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Shri Arvind Bhakti Vedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. O my Lord, O Master, you epitomized trouble for others, and therefore you were called Ravana. But now that you have been defeated, we also are defeated. For without you, the state of Lanka has been conquered by the enemy. To whom will it go for shelter? Can you read the translation? O my Lord, O Master, you epitomized trouble for others, and therefore you were called Ravana. But now that you have been defeated, we also are defeated. Without you, the state of Lanka has been conquered by the enemy. To whom will it go for shelter? Purport. Ravana's wife Mandodari and the other wives knew very well how cruel a person Ravana was. The very word Ravana means one who causes crying for others. Ravana continuously caused trouble for others. But when his sinful activities culminated in giving trouble to Sita Devi, he was killed by Lord Ramachandra. Thus ends the Bhaktivinoda purports and translations to Canto 9, Chapter 10, texts 24 to 26 of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschati Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. In these series of verses, we can see the result of sinful life, that it is simply misery and very painful for oneself and for others. We can see when Ravana was killed, all his wives were very much afflicted with pain, unbearable pain. And Ravana's associates also were killed, and even their wives also were afflicted with great pain. And they were piteously crying, with voices appealing to everyone, but nobody can offer help. This is the result of sinful life. Nobody can offer help. When somebody is suffering, actually nobody can help that person. Except for Lord Krishna and Krishna's representative, the Guru, the Acharya, the confidential servant of the Lord. Nobody in this world, no material power, material arrangement, material adjustment can relieve the conditioned soul from the suffering he has to undergo from the sinful life. The best example is Ravana. He had so much power, so much facility, but nothing could save him from death. which resulted from the culmination of his sinful activity. So, from the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures, we understand even pious life leads to misery. Then, where is the possibility of sinful activities or sinful life bringing about happiness for the living entity? Shine punya marti lokam vishanti, as Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita. Even if you are able to raise yourself to the heavenly planets for heavenly enjoyment because of pious deeds, still it will not last long. Very soon you have to come down to the earth after exhausting the pious life. And pious life and impious life both are resulting in misery, and will not do any ultimate good for the spirit soul from the spiritual viewpoint. Pious life may give you facility for sense gratification, which is also sinful. And sinful life is outright uh, sense gratification. The more we increase our tendency to enjoy, the more the lording over nature will increase, which is the fundamental reason, the primary reason why we came to this material world, to exercise our lording over tendency. And that is manifested to the degree of sense gratification we indulge in this world. And the culmination of this lording over nature is manifested in sex life. One place Prabhupada says. That means exploitation. What does sex life mean? Or sense gratification mean? To exploit the resource for one's own independent enjoyment and pleasure. So grossly manifested in sex. So more one is interested in sense gratification, it means too much of lording over nature. We generally think lording over means dominating another person. Why are you doing this? Listen to me. You cannot do this. Generally exercising control, right? Maximum manifestation is in sense gratification, culminating in sex life. So that is the danger of this anartha. Then, and in Krishna consciousness, we are training our mind and our entire body-mind system to become Dasa, servant, giving up the lording over tendency and nature. But opposite of that, if you are doing, then you are defeating your very purpose of Krishna consciousness, practice and purpose. We are defeating the very purpose by increasing our lording over tendency. One place Prabhupada says sinful life is due to ignorance. And ignorance can be removed by Krishna conscious knowledge received from the authorities, spiritual authorities. God does not become impure, one place Prabhupada says. But we become impure. Therefore we are suffering. So our suffering is because of impurity or because of anarthas, because of sinful activities. Therefore we are suffering. Although I am eternal, my nature is to be eternal, full of knowledge, and to be experiencing bliss. On the other hand, I am experiencing suffering, misery, all the while because of the anartha. So Prabhupada gave an example, just like when Prabhupada is giving this lecture, explaining this point, he had some cold. So Prabhupada said, just like now I am affected by cold. This is a kind of infection. And this is not a natural state. So to catch cold, to have throat problem, a fever, it's not natural state. Natural state is to be healthy. So Prabhupada is saying, I have been affected by chilly cold or something like that. Therefore, I'm suffering. So it is my duty to cure. Not that I continue my fever or my cold. No, it is my duty to cure it. Take some medicine and go to the physician. This is called Sattva Samshuddhi. That means I am suffering now because my existence is impure. So I have to make a plan and attempt, make arrangement for purifying my existence so that I can become happy. That's called Sattva Samshuddhi, purifying our existence. Otherwise, so much of pain and quite intolerable. And with all that, still the conditioned soul is continuing his life in this material world. That means it is only possible by the grace of Maya. Even after suffering, still people continue their material existence, material life, continue sinful activities, continue life of anarthas. That means it's only possible by the grace of Maya. Maya brings down upon the living entity her energy called Avarnatmika Shakti. Avarnatmika Shakti means the covering potency of Maya. So Maya covers our real knowledge of our original nature as Satchidananda. And we continue suffering. And we think it is normal. And a lot of false philosophies emerge from this life of suffering. After every suffering, there is hope. So much of encouragement in this world. Tomorrow will be better. There is bright future ahead. There is what is that? Light at the end of the tunnel. So all kinds of statements are used in this world to encourage the living being to continue his material existence, while actually he is being befooled by material energy. In the scriptures, this example is given. Prabhupada quotes this. Sometimes the criminal, for doing some mistake in the olden days when monarchy was prevalent, so there was one kind of punishment of the criminal wherein there will be a tank of water and they will take this prisoner or the criminal and push his head, dunk his head into the waters. You might have heard about this. And for a few minutes, his head will be inside the waters and he'll be struggling for breath. He's almost about to die. They will just catch his hair, lift him up, lift him out of the water. And then, the great relief, momentarily. Moment he got that relief of breath, again they will dunk him into the water. Again he'll be struggling for breath, almost impossible to bear. Again momentarily they will lift him up. Like that he will do. Again they will dunk him. So that momentary period he feels relief and satisfied. Is that happiness? This is complete ignorance. Similarly, amidst so much of suffering in this world, Maya gives a momentary relief of happiness in material life. And that, why that happiness is given? Now, why that criminal is being lifted up? So that once again they can dunk him and make him suffer. Gives him an encouragement. Okay, some hope is there. So Maya gives little happiness, momentary happiness to give us hope. Okay, we can continue in this material world. Otherwise, everybody will go back to Godhead, escaping all the punishment. So it's actually again a fooling of Maya. That momentary pleasure she gives and gives us the strength to suffer again. So this is what is happening in the world. Bhagavatam gives one more example. Uh, if we are walking on the street and we are carrying a heavy load, very heavy load on the left shoulder, very heavy. You tell me to carry 50 kg, how it will be for me? So, or something like that. 100 kg you tell me to carry. How difficult it will be. So after some time I will shift the load from my left shoulder to the right shoulder and feel great relief. You experienced this? We carry our bag sometime for trip and all. Very common experience. Or you carry a huge bag of vegetables. You go with your mother to purchase it. And hand is paining. Then lift with the right hand. Of course, they are not giving the example of a shoulder. Carrying a lot of weight, left shoulder, shift it to the right shoulder. That's so much pain after some time. Naturally, shift it onto the head. Feel great relief. But the load is not taken out of you. It is shifted elsewhere within you. You go on shifting. This circus goes on in our life. Where is the relief? It is simply dodging of Maya. Simply suffering. Suffering is still there. It is shifted to another point, from point A to point B within your life. And you are feeling great relief. So there is no escape of suffering. It is simply painful. So in that pain also people take pleasure. Many such instructions are there in the Shastra. So this is meant for contemplation and reflection. That's why it requires time. You have to sit 5 minutes, 10 minutes and think about this deeply. Even in hospital, people are there, they take pleasure that they're in such a big hospital. They got a special ward. Nobody got, somehow by influence, we got a special room. There also somehow try to get some pleasure. Person is going to ICU next 3 days after that. And he'll say, somehow I got a very special ward by some recommendation. Single room. So somewhere Maya, we try to squeeze out some pleasure, some satisfaction. False sense of satisfaction. In such serious situations also. So, sinful enjoyment from sinful life is a perverted form of enjoyment. And the right way of enjoyment is Krishna consciousness. So why not do the right way and enjoy? Enjoyment is not denied. Anandamaya abhyasa, the soul is Atma means, Atma's nature is Ananda. So seeking Ananda is not sinful. But how you are seeking is the question. Whether it is the right way or the wrong way. Everybody wants enjoyment. Spiritual world is full of Ananda. Krishna is the personification of Ananda. And we being part and parcel of Krishna, we are also Ananda Maya, Ananda Swarupi. Our Swarupa is Ananda. But how are we experiencing that Ananda? How are we approaching that Ananda? What is our attitude towards happiness or enjoyment? That is important. Getting that enjoyment in a sinful way is a perverted form. But getting it in a Krishna conscious way is the right way. So Prabhupada says, sinful activity, it is not good. Therefore, there is regulation. There are 4 kinds of sinful activities: meat eating, intoxication, illicit sex and gambling. So Prabhupada gives a very nice analysis from a lecture. I have just copied some portion of that analysis by Prabhupada. So if sinful activity is good, then there will be no restriction. Why there will be restriction? because it is bad. Therefore, there is a restriction. Like meat eating, liquor, there is a restriction because it is bad. There is natural inclination to indulge in these activities. Loke vyavaya, amisha madda sevaya, nityasya jantor, nahi tatra chodana. So there are natural inclinations of a conditioned soul in this world. Loke vyavaya, amisha madda sevaya. Amisha means meat eating, madda sevaya means intoxication, vyavaya means inclination towards opposite sex. Both sides, man to woman, woman to man. So natural inclination is there for a conditioned soul, because he has come with the spirit of enjoying in this world, independent of Krishna. So the Shastra is not encouraging, because there is no need of encouraging meat eating, liquor, indulging in sense gratification is already known to the conditioned soul. There is no need of training. There is no need of training. So, therefore, there is no encouragement by Shastra or by government. There is only restriction. Somebody may think, but as far as liquor is concerned, government has licensed it. There is licensed liquor sales. So how do you justify? The Prabhupada says nicely, when there is liquor shop licensed by the government, it does not mean encouragement. At least that is the philosophy. It is a restriction. How it is a restriction? Otherwise, liquor you can manufacture at home also. Still, government intelligently says, no, you have to purchase from us and pay heavy tax and duty for that. So intelligent, at least that is the philosophy Prabhupada is saying. Government is intelligently, you can manufacture liquor at home. Government is saying, no, you have to come to the shop and purchase. Otherwise, it is called Deno Mada in Sanskrit. Liquor is called Deno Mada in Sanskrit. Mada is liquor, Deno means from rice. The Deno Mada means liquor produced from rice. You keep rice soaked in water for few days, becomes liquor. You can manufacture at home only. Everybody can manufacture unlimitedly liquor. Still, government intelligently has told, no, you come to shop and purchase. And it's a big tax for that. That means restriction. One more example, fact of restriction is, Prabhupada says very nicely, it is restricted because it is bad. Nobody restricts that you don't manufacture chapati. No, because it is not a bad thing. There is no such law that you don't manufacture nice good stuff. No, chapati is very good. So you can manufacture huge quantity of chapati. There is no restriction in manufacturing food stuff unlimitedly. But there is a restriction in meat sale. There is a restriction in liquor sale because it is bad. The effect is bad. Then somebody may say, why not ban completely? Why give license? Proper answers that just like a person is attached to meat, all of a sudden if you say, stop meat eating completely, it is not good. Or stop liquor, it is not good. He cannot accept. Therefore, gradually make him get away from these bad habits by regulation, which is achieved by restriction. In the Shastra also we see, Prabhupada explains, just like you have to offer meat only once a month, dark moon day, and only goat and a specific animal once a month only, and so many other rules and regulations you have to follow, and lot of Puja paraphernalia you have to arrange. You have to participate in a lot of mantras, procedures, so many things for that one piece of meat once a month. That means restriction. And then, before offering that goat to Kali, generally it is offered to Kali. You have to chant the mantra saying that this life I am killing you, you will have the right to kill me next life. That is why, therefore, it is called Mamsa. Mamsaha Kadati. Now, if I have to tell in the goat's ear, I am killing you now to satisfy my palate, next life you can kill me to satisfy your palate, which person, sane person, will agree to kill the animal and eat? Now it is my chance, next time it will be your chance. You can also chop me nicely. So nobody will agree. But the meat eater is told to do all these things before consuming meat. That means restriction. Then a sane person will think, Are, I should sign one agreement with that goat or with that animal. Okay, this time it is my chance, next time it is your chance, and then I have to sign that agreement. Who will sign that agreement? So therefore it is restriction. There is no encouragement of meat eating. Absolutely. Prabhupada also said even liquor drinking, meat eating in those days, it will be away from the city, nowhere in the city. You have to walk kilometers and go. That means restriction. Otherwise you can have at your home, no? Today Kaliga is so bad, it has come to that state also, that meat is available on doorstep, liquor is available at one's own home. That's a very pitiable condition. But that is not the government's arrangement and nor the Shastras recommend. So Prabhupada gave one very, very nice example. This is again from Bhagavatam, first canto. He's saying, you cannot become good by indulging in bad things. Very good point. That is not possible. The same thing Prabhupada is saying. Just like you cannot clear muddy water by putting another mud, by putting more mud. That's not possible. Actually, this is from Bhagavatam, where it's the context of Yudhishthira Maharaj lamenting for killing so many soldiers and kings for himself to become the monarch of this world. So the example is given. If on the floor some liquor is being spilled, now to clean up that floor, you require to clean up the liquor and bring cow dung and clean it. But if you bring another liquor bottle and pour it to clean that liquor stained floor, how it is becoming pure? So to clean the liquor floor, again you are pouring liquor. So like that, already we are diseased and we have come to this material world. We are patients, we are sick, we are diseased due to the nature of lording over tendency, nature of sense gratification, to control others, to enjoy resources, people, to capture opportunities for my sense gratification. That is the disease. And then further, these meat-eating liquor aggravates that tendency. So that is the mistake in this sinful activities and sex life and gambling. So that is the mistake. So we have to give it up. It will not do good to us. These are like cancerous cells. So these are like cancerous cells. It eats away the vitality of one's health. And further, these cancerous cells keep expanding and will pollute the other good cells and make them also cancerous. So, it is detrimental for one's good health. Similarly, sinful life, although it appears very attractive very tempting, very nice to indulge in, actually it is cancerous. It will eat away your soul's Sachidananda. It will eat away. And you will become bankrupt. You become bankruptcy of Sachidananda one day. It is like partnership. It is like, that's why no partnership with Maya. We don't want partnership with Maya or Mayic life, grossly represented in sinful activities. We don't want partnership with them. Just like doing partnership with a bad person. He'll eat away all your profits. You are working hard, but the profit is stolen away by your partner. So we are doing sinful activity, thinking we can enjoy, but actually it is eating away all the good account which we are having and make us bankrupt. So it is very risky. So we should not indulge in these sinful activities. On the other hand, the acharyas are constantly trying to relieve us from these sinful activities so that we can chant Hare Krishna peacefully. One said the conditioned souls are committing one after the other activities which are detrimental for their spiritual progress. On the other hand, the acharyas are constantly compassionate and praying to the Lord to relieve the conditioned soul from their sinful activities. Srila Prabhupada quotes Vasudeva Datta in this regard. Very famous example. So Vasudeva Datta, he said to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that, my Lord, you are certainly able to do whatever you like. You are indeed merciful. My Lord, my heart breaks to see the suffering of the conditioned souls. Therefore, I request you to transfer the karma of their sinful lives upon my head. This is a request of Vasudeva Datta to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let me suffer eternally in hellish condition, accepting all the sinful reactions of all living entities. Please finish their diseased material life, O Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied to Vasudeva Datta. He said, my dear Vasudeva, such a statement from you is not at all astonishing, because you are the incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj. It appears that Lord Krishna has bestowed complete mercy upon you. There is no doubt about this. If a pure devotee desires something from his master, Lord Krishna doubtlessly will grant, because Krishna has no other duty than to fulfill the desire of his devotee. See how Prabhupada writes. Krishna has no other duty than to fulfill the desire of his devotee. So if you desire deliverance of all living entities within the universe, all of them will be delivered. One interesting point of Prabhupada makes, even without you undergoing the tribulation of sinful activity. So to deliver all the jivas, you don't have to suffer their sin. If you desire the deliverance of the jiva within the universe, all of them can be delivered without you undergoing the tribulation of their sinful life. Chaitanya Prabhu continues, Krishna is not incapable. You think Krishna depends on your strength or your request to relieve them from suffering? No. Krishna is not incapable. He has all potencies. And furthermore, why would he induce you to suffer the sinful reactions of other jivas? An interesting point. Why will Krishna want you to suffer? To relieve them from their proper karma. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continues. Whosoever welfare you desire will immediately become a Vaishnava. And Krishna delivers all Vaishnavas from the reactions of their past sinful activities. Karma nirdhati kim tucha bhakti bhaja. Because of your honest desire, all living entities within the universe will be delivered. For Krishna does not have to do anything to deliver all living entities. Your desire is enough. So, coming back to the verse. We are therefore fortunate that we have such pure devotees who are desiring our welfare and ready to suffer on our behalf, on our cause. But that does not mean that we have to put them in trouble. So one side, the living entity is constantly committing sinful activity. Other side, the acharyas are coming to this world, praying to deliver such jivas and transfer their sins onto them. You can just imagine, such kind of persons are there in this world. If we're thinking about this, we should therefore conclude, I should give up this sinful activity. It will not do good to anyone, to oneself or for others. And on the other hand, it will eat away my Satchidananda nature and existence. So what good it has done to me? So give it up. It's only misery, as we see here in Ravana's case. So I'll stop here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai.